Hello, y'all, or myself, as this is somewhat of a journal. Um, okay, so since my last video and since 10 years ago, roughly, or a little more, things have been popping off. As you all probably know, not we, as in Canada, but the world is in crisis as Russia has started war with Ukraine. This is what I had not envisioned, but what I thought was going to start somehow. I always felt like it was a world war that was approaching. I felt like it was going to happen a lot earlier, mind you. I thought 10 years ago around that time that I was making them. And I started realizing a lot of parallels that are now coming like kind of full circle for me. And that's why I feel like I got to step back, get on my path, like really just like go after it because I know I said before, oh yeah, and I did. It's not like things stopped for me. It's just that I got immersed in the world again and, egotistical loops that I kept facing. So this year, like I said, I've been clearing a lot of people out of my life and I feel like I need to get to a very good center because things are changing rapidly. Hi, honey. And like I had said years ago, when I was propositioned by the creator, I say creator, God, I don't know, it was a double helix entity that overtook my home. Um, I'm not scared to talk about it anymore. I have a lot of people that I got to make amends with. There's a list. I've made it. I'm going to slowly tick everyone off that I have to just say sorry to, apologize, make amends because I felt shitty about it. So that's going to happen within the next couple months. I've just got to clear the air, just align those energies so that I can move forward. But what the entity said to me, the I am presence, told me that either I would take on this path or my children would. And like I said all that time back, I was very juvenile, very arrogant. And I decided, oh, I'm going to go my own path, whatever that meant. Technically, it was always, and I swear, this is why I know, when I refused it, I had a very close sense that I was like, yes, there's free will, but at the same time, all paths will lead to one answer. And I never knew what that was at that time. I thought that I was deciding and I actually had a choice. But actually, what happened is that now that I've had a son and I actually can understand for the first time in my life, I am an only child, number one. Number two, I never had siblings, so I never understood like a type of love other than my mother. Like my mom was the only one I really had in my life. And so I love her dearly. Dearly. I love my boyfriend dearly, the father of my child dearly. But I don't even want to compare the love I have for this little boy over here. He's just so cute. I love him. Like it's transformed my way of understanding love. Like this boy can do no wrong, and I'm going to do everything in my power to be there for him. So it made me kind of understand that like God or this entity always knew what it was to be a mom, what it was to have unconditional love. And knowing that I was going to be a juvenile delinquent, I imagine, because in essence this being is me too. Like that's the impression I got, is that we are all God and we are facets of this. We have eyes that see a different facet of God, but we all are God when we have this essence within us. And what I didn't realize was they were like, oh, you can take the path or your kids will take the path. And the thing is that at that moment, I was like, no, I'll go my own way. Realistically, right now, at this very moment, I know the answer to this question. And the answer is me. I got to take it on. Anyways, so what I've now been doing a lot of thinking, it's not even now, it's like things like I said are coming full circle. So what I've realized is at that time, and still progressively even during my 20s while I traveled all these different things, I still had some insight. I still got downloads, and I very and seldomly was still like when my friend's mother passed, I did see her who was coming to get her on the other side come through. So I did still have the ability with the dead. It's just that everything kind of got like really put aside. Like I could tap into it, like if they were really pertinent it would come through, But that, I digress. That's not the point of my story. The point of my story is that when I was at my heightened sense at around 18, I could have taken it on and gone a lot farther. But the thing that I never realized all through this time, I know this is weird to say, is that the people that I was communicating with were of a, I guess, divinic, they were of the divine, like they were avatars and or angels. So they only manifested for me in person, and that was something that I never saw online people really talking about. They never really told, like they would talk about channeling and talking about like different extraterrestrial channelings, and I believe that totally. I know that there's aliens, like duh, like the expanse of the universe is immense, and there is a creator of it all. So there's an essence of all beings, and that I believe is who I am. Well, I haven't figured it out yet, but these are the entities that I was dealing with. I was dealing with avatars and angels, and I didn't really know where I came from. And sorry, honey. Oh, in essence, what I'm trying to say is that it took me all this time to realize is that I wasn't getting channeled or anything. I was seeing these people in flesh and blood. They were coming in my face in person. So they have the ability to manipulate this realm. This is what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's not external. The people that I was dealing with are internal. They either made the matrix, they either have the codes for the matrix, I call it a matrix because I've always felt like this was a hologram school for our souls to learn. It could be one lesson, all lessons, but usually one. It could be one major one, and you might be so stubborn you don't learn it, much like myself. But ultimately, what I never realized is like, oh, I spoke with avatars in person, angels in person, and the entity that engulfed my home, I guess, would be the ultimate creator of a dual matrix, a dual helix. Sorry, looks like two dragons, I would say. I saw lightning and clouds, and I can't really. It just overtook my whole home. Like literally my home. I felt like I was in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz. I mean, like it just over. Like the smoke was like I don't know how to explain it. Either way, what I'm realizing now is that I've been looking not just at book. I mean, I've read so much. Like I'm wondering right now. See, when it comes to books, this is where I get a little confused. I've always had to follow the Bible in order to find out my timelines of what's going on in this world. I always had to read the Bible, and mainly, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't read John and Corinthians and all these other ones, and they're wonderful, especially because of a lot of the what do you call them? Not fables, but parables. They are very good at understanding everyday life. It doesn't matter how many years pass, great. But I'm talking about Exodus and I'm talking about Revelations. So what needs to be understood is that as my abilities were dampened, I was still progressing and following my Bible, because I'm not a Bible thumper. Like, please don't get a Christian vibe. But this is the thing. The Bible, I guess, for me, because the people that I dealt with are of that background, that's my book. You know what I mean? Other people channel directly with their entities. I was actually getting physical and real kind of breadcrumbs through the Bible, looking at Revelations for this time frame. Like, for example, I met a 6'4" native guy, and he told me he was the Gray Horseman. This is a guy who was fully talking to some other biker dude, and then all of a sudden saw me, turned around, and just like discloses to me. So it's like, it always would give me pinpoints as to where I was in this reading. And in terms of time, we're coming to the close. So I'm not trying to be some like naysayer. Like, I think this transition, like I said, could go two ways. Also, at the same time, vibrationally, I think there are forces, because like I said, I know that there's aliens that work with the dimension or dimensional being that I originate with. Like I said, the angelics and the avatars. And what I mean by avatars, Thank you, honey. Give me 1 second, honey, please. I just want to say some stuff. What I mean by avatars is that, like, for example, I met Kuan Yin 10 years ago, November 11, 11, 11. And what she said to me was that she was glad that I was there to hold or to secure the mount. That's what she said. And I didn't understand that. I was with 2 other guys that I had met as we were camping, and I had encouraged them to come climb this mount with me during this event. So this event was going on down at the bottom, and Kuan Yin was on the mount. I didn't know it was Kuan Yin at the moment, but when I met her, because she looked like an Asian woman who was just dressed normally, like in mountain gear, climbing a mountain, but she was actually meditating at the time. And when I approached her, I knew right away she was one of them. They just have this angelic look, like nothing can hurt them. Like they are all empowered. They have all the confidence in their eyes. It's like, you just know. And you can feel, like, especially because I'm a feeler, I could feel the intensity that she brought forth. And she was thanking me for securing the mount. And that's what makes me understand that those are the people that I'm working with. I didn't know it, but I was. So here comes flash forward. November 11, 11. We go to March, right? But technically we're here in March. The war pops up. But right before this was February, right? Second month, second day of 2022. So this is 10 years. The next wave, right? And if you follow along, you'll see that it's coming in time frames. And the reason why I say time frames are important as well is because if you look at even where we are, like, no one ever knew exactly what our date is. No one knows exactly. We were following the moon at one point, we're following the sun at one point, and through our time frames. But what we do know is that there are eons and there's epochs. So realistically, we're looking at, if you look at even what the Sumerians were talking about, the Anunnaki were talking about, the 12,500 years. That's a fraction of a lot larger of a revolution. And I don't know for sure, but I feel like this 36,000 marker may be approaching, and that's what aligns us with, I believe it's another galaxy. And when that galaxy aligns, it allows the energies to come forth, which I believe flow through and help the galactics. Now, the galactics are, I mean, like, I was a lover of Star Trek. I'm sure maybe others are too. The galactics remind me of Star Trek, because in the sense that there are these beings that oversee our immediate constellation, and maybe there are others in other galaxies, I do not know, probably, that protect and oversee certain, lovely baby, and oversee humans specifically, because I guess we're a dawning race, and also because we're one of the only races that has this awesome power of a soul. I'm not saying we're the only, but we're like the major creators, I guess, sort of, I don't want to say project, but in a sense, it's like we're evolved beings who decided to come and put on suits of unevolved and go into a world of uninvolvement. So there are these galactics. And if you do watch Star Trek, it's like they're a federation, you know, because you got the humans and the Vulcans and the Cardassians and all these other lovely alien races, Ferengi, etc. Well, let's see. There's even Klingons. You get my drift. They all work towards one goal. But then there's always the other side, like the Borg, you know. And if you ever watch, let's say, Catherine Janeway's version, there's those other ones that are the Hirogen, for example. So the Hirogen, I guess we could talk like the reptilians, etc., the Dracos here. There's a different set of beings that are trying to mess with us as well. So that's on that front. And I feel like this, if it is this 36,000 revolution, which we wouldn't know, then this would align things enough so that those that are part of the Federation Galactic, galactics, would have more ability to sway the light energies within this solar system. And I truly believe that that may be what's going on right now. And I'm trying so hard to make a video. Ay. But this is, I know I'm like rambling on. You have to imagine this is how my brain's been working for time. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm going to try to reconnect with Source. And it's something great just happened. I mean recently, like very recently, as I've been doing this. I mean, I've been meditating and I've been getting places, which is great. I finally like got to a place where I see nothing other than black. I finally got out of the black zone. It's so good. But I'm so happy. About 2 years ago, I was buying, I go to my favorite store to buy books, etc. And I bought this book called The Sophia Code. I literally read maybe 4 pages and I was enthralled. It's basically one of the most enlivening books I've read in a long time, or I started to read in a long time. And it was like it was speaking to me. I love books that act and talk. Like Siddhartha Gautama, I felt like was me. It was weird. But this book, same thing. I feel like it's talking to me. And I lost it. I could not find it. I started reading it, couldn't find it. And then all of a sudden, I asked out. Like I said, I wasn't really connecting that well, but at times I did get tidbits. And I said, where is this book? I cleaned my whole entire house looking for this book. Never found it. And the resounding response I got was, you will get this book back when you are ready. Or when it's needed, ready. Okay? So literally, I was in my mother's place and I was looking for something and I managed to run and find this book 2 years later. And now I'm going to read it. And supposedly it's supposed to help with activation, which is something I need to do again. I can honestly say now that I've like come full circle, I was an activated person working for a divinic realm, I imagine, or on my path with a divinic realm, had elevated to lengths that some people would dream to elevate to. And then I decided to be normal and go back into the box. So and I thought to myself, it was like yesterday, I was like, I must be like a cosmic joke. I'm like, humans try to get out of the box, try to raise, talk about God, be, Bible thumpers and out there and getting the word out. Doesn't matter if it's Allah or if it's Yahweh and here I am trying to go back in the box. So that showed me that I honestly am afraid of being special. And so that's another fear I gotta kick in the ass. I have to realize that as a special entity of God, of the great, of the creator, of the all, I was actually not doing service to God because I am a facet of him, her, he, she, all I am presence. And I did a tragic thing by trying to diminish that. And I feel like now I need to get back on because I have a lot to say and I know a lot. And I feel like maybe I can change some minds. And in the meantime, also, I need to elevate myself. And I'm working on it. I mean, I'm putting in the work, finally. I've always been against doing the work. But I am going to be very scared. I know that. I know getting through the veil again is going to be tough. Because it's weird. It's like when I was doing it before, I was falling ass backwards into it because I was inspired to find it. Now I know it's there, so it's kind of like I'm doing this and I'm sticking my hands out and trying to feel it out because I know it's there. I've seen it. So it's like I can't unknow that, but I can't see it. So it's like a catch-22. So that's what I meant about parables. Jesus says it best. You have to take the log out of your eye. So I've got a filter on. I've got a filter. And they want, I always say they, because I don't know what powers that be. They want me to be filtered, just like they want others to be filtered so that they can't see the problems, so that they can't move forward. But I see them. I recognize them. I'm working on them. I'm hoping that I can break through the veil. That is my goal. But realistically, my first goal is to read this book, read the other Akashic book. That's going to be my 3-month project because I have a side, like you see. And yeah, it's trying. You know what I mean? It's a little hard when you're trying to make videos or do anything, and you can't really do it. But either way, I'm just gonna keep trucking forward. But I'm gonna keep watch on Russia, because realistically, if nukes pop off because he gets backed into a corner, I also felt like this war was really unprepared or unmeditated. I don't know who he's. I feel like some way he was manipulated. I don't know, man. Putin, like, I don't know. He could have a face on it and I wouldn't know a being because I'm not tapped in. Maybe if I had my eye open, I could see him. But, like, realistically, everyone says this guy's a genius, so smart. But yet, he starts a war and all of his money gets held and everybody puts sanctions and backs you into a corner on purpose. So it's either that he knew he was going to do nukes and he always wanted a reason, like the states always needed a reason. Like, oh, terrorism. Let's go and bomb all these people and kill them all. Maybe Putin needs this too. So he's like, oh, I bomb here, I bomb there, I let all my money go, sanctions, you put me in a corner, I had no choice. I don't know if that's what he's pulling off, because if you're some really smart leader, why wouldn't you take your money out 7 months, 8 months, like before you knew you were going to pop this war off? It seems like either you're being told to start this war so that a union starts and you're going to get something on the back end for it, or you wanted to use nukes the entire time just to have a reason so that the books that ever are written, perhaps if that ever exists down the road in one version of life, you wanted to seem like you had no choice. You do have a choice, and you are going to unite a lot of people. You could take it a little farther. I really think the aliens would come if nukes pop off. I really do. I don't think they want anything like this to happen. And they're going to be seen very soon if that's the case. But, hey, neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. I'm kind of excited. I want to see what happens. I feel horrible for the people and what they're enduring. But, I know that's a bad word. But, however, they're going to get through it, I hope. And that's it for me. Guess we'll see how it pops up. Oh, last mark. Why I said Bible too. I was watching the news. My boyfriend watches all kinds of news. I was watching RT, the Russian news, and I saw a bus that came by that's picking up Ukrainians. It said 666. This is why I'm saying it's directly towards me. Like, the signs are towards me because that's for my timeline. So, I realized there's a passage that talks about marking and the branding, and the number of the second coming would be 666. So, that kind of triggered me, and also believe that, like, things are aligning. That's another note. Sorry, that sounded weird at the very end, but I did want to point out that was another reason. I look for the signs. I'm watching for them. I'm going to keep posting and writing or saying my biz for myself. This could all evaporate. Maybe the web could just disintegrate if everything goes to shit. But either way, I've done it. All right. Thanks. Bye.